Hi, I'm Dani Palacio, and I am so grateful that you're here. This is a Waking Moment podcast, and I look forward to sharing some personal stories today, as well as hopefully giving you some additional comfort, insight to the journey. So often in this podcast, I talk about inner truth. And inner truth is that wisdom that lives within you, that is so right for you. It's not about being right for anybody else because the quote unquote right thing to do is an illusion. I don't believe that there is a right or wrong decision. Yes, some can be harmful, some can be painful, some can be interesting on the journey that may cause us to postpone, delay, or stay in denial. But that wisdom, that truth within you is something to cultivate, something to start to get to know as a primary relationship in your life, because I've been working on it for years, and I'm going to share a story with you today that hopefully will show you that everyone is human, and that even with the best of intentions and years of practice, you can still end up on a road in an experience that you didn't really intend. And there's a key reason as to why that happens. And I'm about to share what that is. So, oftentimes, we set an intention. Sometimes we don't, but there is a purpose as to why we're doing what we're doing. But then you get so excited, so inspired that you don't you don't check in with that purpose, that intent, and you jump to action because inspiration is all encompassing. It excites the brain, it increases the heart rate, it helps us stay engaged. And so we want to act. We want to fulfill on that excitement, that inspiration. But when we do that, we forget all the time to check in with, is this in alignment with my inner truth? Is this part of my original intent? Does my original intent, is it still valid? And if it's not, then the whole process has to start over again. But if it is, then that inspiration um, will lead to amazing action related to your truth as to who you are. And here comes the story. So, um, I'm weird. I don't, I beat to a different drummer most of the time. I do fit in society. Obviously, I've had a successful career in multiple corporations on various teams all over the world. And so I can and do operate in a way that is pleasing, where people accept me. But at the heart of who I am, I'm a little weird. I'm strange. I'm different because of the unseen world and how deeply connected I am to energy, vibration, my spiritual gifts of being able to see, hear, and feel energy, frequency, tune into ancient wisdom that no one remembers, but I seem to. And that does make me special, but it also makes me strange. Not everybody gets it. And since I was a little girl, I'm a recovering people pleaser. I think I've shared that before. But even more so, I have always wanted to fit in. I have always wanted to be seen like everybody else. And that can, there's a whole nother podcast on that because I can share with you like 4 or 5 stories just popped into my awareness as to how I've done that, how my privilege in this world is related to that. But today's episode is really about, how do we ensure that we are in alignment with that inner truth for us? Because for you, for me, right? So, as you know, I've recently rented a room in a very established spa here in my town of Newburgh, Oregon. And I'm so grateful for being with these incredible women and having the opportunity to co-create and share and support and honestly share space. It's really been extremely lovely and I've learned so much. The universe is interesting because I think this was somewhat of a test because when all this went down was the exact time that my dad had an emergency and was in the ER. And those last that happened August 20th. So those last couple of weeks of August, I was 100% focused on him, his health, and yet I was launching a whole different aspect of how I offer healing, how I offer sessions. And so excited. And I had all kinds of people give me ideas, suggestions, what they've liked in the past, what they hope I do in the future. And it was amazing. And I loved it. And I also just went with it. So there you go. That's me getting inspired, overwhelmed, and just taking action because it needed to happen, right? Like my desire to make it happen, and then to fit in. The like I wasn't asked to fit in. Nobody said, "Oh, Dani, you have to be like this and this to be able to rent a room in this spot." No one said that. If anything, I was encouraged to just be who I am. But that inner child that was deeply wounded as a little one about not fitting in, um, kind of came up in a very revealing way. And thankfully, I believe that all things happen for a reason. And the opportunity and the reason for this was to claim that I am strange, that I don't operate the same way as everybody else. And I'm the only one who probably doesn't get that, but I got it now. So I had to take a long, hard look, and I had a couple really amazing souls, people that I trust, ask me some questions, share with me some insights, and it made like a light bulb go on. You know, that classic, if I could, I'd animate a light bulb going on right now because it was so powerful. It made me stop in my tracks. Like, I am an energy worker, a light worker. I offer sessions because it is my passion and my purpose. I also do it because it's totally fun for me. I love the unknown, places that people go because that's what their soul is. That's who they are, and I'm there to support, encourage their wholeness, their inner truth, their full embodiment of their divine essence. And so it does not fit in a 60-minute session. It does not fit in defined services. I know it can be helpful for the mind to have that, but it's not in alignment with me. Like, I want you to come and have a session, and spirit leads it anyway. The divine, the great creator, the universe, God, whatever you want to call that energy, it leads the session. I hear, feel, and see, and then I act. I do what I'm told in those sessions. And I add in my creativity and my own flair, of course, because, honoring who you are is important. So that kind of blew up my whole everything. Like, I had to start over in some ways. So I've redesigned my website. I've made huge changes to how I'm showing up and how I am offering sessions. And the simple truth is, There are no more services. There are only sharing with you my modalities, the things I've learned, the things that I have access to. And then there's only time. But even time is lightly created. And so I'm going to start saying, if you book a 60-minute session, make sure you have some wiggle room. And if you book a 90-minute session, make sure you have some wiggle room. And I'm not going to have an online booking tool for you to choose the day and time around the availability that I give. This is divine service. I'm available every day except for Sundays. Monday through Saturday, I am available. I'd like to start my day around 9:30, but if somebody needs an 8 a.m. session, I'm going to say yes. And I'm asking for interaction. I'm asking for you to take the step of texting me, emailing me, calling me even, or using the online form on my website. And all of this is to honor me, to honor how I need to be in the world. I enjoy interactions with people. I enjoy being able to meet their desire. It gives me pleasure. So if you text me and say, hey, Dani, are you available at 9 a.m. on the next Thursday? I'd like to have a session. I prefer 60 minutes. Here's the thing. Here's the other thing that I don't think most people do. I only know of a couple. Talking, integrating, sharing, and connecting all are part of the session. But the hour is when you're on the table, when we are in deep connection with the divine, and I'm in that energetic flow of being a channel for your highest and for your most aligned service. And so a 60-minute session can be an hour and a half because we may have spent 20 minutes talking to get to where we need to be so that you can be on the table. And then we might spend some time integrating what that session was really like. How did you feel? What did I hear if I wasn't able to share? And a 90-minute session is like maybe 2 hours. Maybe it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I don't know, because the divine doesn't exist on time. It's got a plan, and I say yes to it, and you said yes to it. So that's the wiggle room I'm talking about. And so I've designed my life now to be able to honor that. And because I rent the room, it's all mine anyway. There's really no time limit other than life stuff if we've already have a commitment. And so there's my story. There's what I went a little cockeye on. Just got a little oops, forgot to check in with the divine, with the intent, with my purpose, to ensure that I was making the decisions that honored my uniqueness and I am able to show up the way that is the most authentic and the most in alignment with my inner truth. And I believe that has radically shifted the energy around what I am and who I am and what I'm offering. And so, and that's, if I can save you a moment of that, where you also forget, where you get inspired and you jump to action and you forget to check in with your intent and your purpose and honoring your inner truth, then I really am so grateful I shared this story. And the best thing about it, there's no judgment. There's no blame. There's no, I can't believe I did that. There's none of that harsh critic voice, because it's a journey and I learned so much. And I know you will too. I hope that my story and the examples I'm sharing with you about the steps and the order of those steps, and I'm just going to repeat them one more time. Know your intent. Know your purpose. Make sure that it's in alignment with your divine inner truth, your passion, your desire. Then get inspired. get so inspired you just want to go and you want to create and you want to do and you want to be. Take action. Those are the 3 steps in that order. And when you get not overly, when you get inspired, you can often get overwhelmed, which creates chaos, not only in your body, but in your energy. And when you're in chaos, it's repelling energy. Like it's not inviting. It's a energy that says, I'm all over the place and I don't know what I'm doing. Ah! And we're in that energy a lot in life. Everyone is. So again, this podcast episode is really about diving deeper into what inner truth is and honoring the original intent, taking the inspired experience and finding beautiful action that honors you. I'm always going to probably have a little bit of me that wants to fit in because in some ways I think it's very human. But the more and more I'm doing this, the more I'm recognizing that my light, my purpose, my energy is unique and I will dare say special. And so it is true for you as well. So if you're in the process of creating, please take a moment, double check, make sure it's really truly in alignment with your knowingness, your wisdom, your inner truth. And if it's not, great that you could identify it, but make a change, make a shift. There's no right or wrong in living life. And there is ease and flow, and there is denial and stuckness. And I think most people understand where they are on that spectrum. They may not want to know, but I think when you take a moment to ask yourself, you know if you're in denial, if you're resisting, if you're stuck, if you're feeling low, tired, exhausted. And you also know when you are excited, inspired, full of passion, full of ideas, creativity. It's just like bursting out of you and you're moving in alignment, you're moving in flow. So man, I don't know. This is this is not like any other episode I've done because it's deeply personal to my own journey, but I believe deeply that we are all connected. We are not individual entities. We are a collective organism, collective energy. And so my owning my journey and sharing it with you enables you to do the same. It enables you to feel safe, to feel empowered. And so don't stay on the wrong course. Don't stay in an experience that is out of alignment with that inner truth. Be courageous, be daring, and be bold because the part of you that is that wants to express itself. You get to express that self, and there's no apologies for it. You get to be bold. In this episode, what I just talked about, I called myself special. I called myself out for being weird and odd and different. And you know what? All of that feels really good. Really, really good. So if you don't know how to do this, if this feels so overwhelming, if this feels like, oh my God, I'm glad Dani can do it, but I can't, please get in contact with me. I have been a life coach for 19 years. I have been doing energy work for 30 years. I have lived a life that is so full of redesign, redo. I get it. And I even have it more in this moment because of this experience. This is what I talk about when this could have knocked me down, made me feel stupid, made me feel like shit. I just accepted everybody else's truth and I didn't honor mine. But that's not it. This this story is the example of compassion, acceptance, joy, purpose, passion, um, and the ability to recreate and redo without shame, blame, or guilt. Um, I spent money, I spent time, I spent energy. I went down a path that ultimately wasn't where I wanted to be. Partly, I didn't know. I really didn't know. If I had known, I maybe would have done it different, right? But the universe orchestrated the experience where I was completely exhausted and overwhelmed because there was so much going on in my personal life. It offered me beautiful wisdom from all these lovely people. It worked for a while, and then when I regained my vitality, I regained my focus, I went, crap. And then I made a change. So I hope this is an inspiring moment for you. I hope that you enjoyed my story and my experience. I hope that you will learn from it because I believe that is what we are meant to do. That, I'm the youngest, by the way, of there's three of us in the family, and I'm the youngest. And I think the youngest has a very unique position in the family to be able to observe and then make changes based on other people's behaviors. And so it's kind of a superpower of people that are the youngest in their family, the baby of the family. Because I do believe that you don't have to experience this because I already did. And then I shared it with you. And if you do, then it was meant for you to experience. But I do believe that we can learn from other people's examples, other people's experiences, um, as long as we're checking in with ourselves around what is truly authentic for me and what is truly in alignment with that divine plan, with that inner wisdom. And I'm so glad that I'm recording this because I know I will come back to this episode and I will watch and listen to myself over and over and over again because I would prefer to do the steps in order and continually check in with that intent, with that purpose in every aspect of my life, not just starting a business, a healing business. So thank you so much for tuning in. It was a lot and it's kind of a short episode, but please, I meant it. If you are in the experience of, I can't do this, I don't even know what she's talking about, please reach out. I will support you. We will find a way to work together and get this sorted. So you have all of my contact information. You always do. It's in all of the summary notes. You know my website, olamorco.com, and I'm easily reachable. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. And if this resonates for someone in your life, please share. Please share this episode and others. It really does help. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel in which you're listening to this on, please subscribe. You'll never miss an episode because the channel itself supports letting you know either through text or email. And you always know that every Monday there's a new episode. And so again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to share.